It's your grace, yeah, over me.
Hey, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry in the producer's chair tonight.
And tonight we have two really special women with such touching stories. They're both going to tell us their story and how it intertwines and stories of healing. Both of the women had cancer. Yvonne and Carmen, welcome to the show. But Yvonne had ovarian cancer. Mm-hmm. Carmen had colon cancer, which spread to her lungs and to her liver. So, and now they're both healed, both cancer-free. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
I want y'all to tell us your story, how y'all became good friends, because I know y'all are great friends. They're actually, we were talking a few minutes ago, and they're actually working on a book. I think they've gotten through maybe one chapter or two, but
we're started.
They're started.
It's a start.
I know, but they really do have. Their stories are amazing, and they give all the glory to God, and that's what we're all about over here. So, tell us your stories.
All right. I guess I'll start.
I guess, yeah, you start with your...
I was, back in 2017, I got diagnosed with ovarian cancer. And I think that the most important part of my story, or this whole faith journey or faith experience, was that I prayed and prayed that my joy would not be taken while I was going through chemo. It was mostly, I'm a happy person and love life, and I just didn't want, and I teach tennis, or I taught tennis to little kids, and I just didn't want my life to be just sad. And I didn't want to be angry or sad. I wanted that all to go away and just be filled with still the joy of friends and family and love, support. And I was overwhelmed with the support from all my friends, and that I did feel joyous the entire time. Now, it was painful, it was hard, it was distressing, but the people that came into my life that I cherish so deeply, one in particular who has passed away from cancer, Louise Hill, and I will dedicate tonight to her. She was she was a good friend that we were close, but we became so much closer because of the treatment. And she was there. She was before me. She had her cancer before me.
Wow.
And while I was going through. And then she just kept me strong and positive and faith-filled, and kept what's important. And she kept stressing the importance of the 3 S's, which are keep your life stress-free as much as you can, don't eat sugar, and get some sleep. And so that was basically her rules. And, you know, we'll go into, I'm sure, more on how to keep your life stress-free. And I think the main way to do that is to have prayer and to have your choice of your thoughts, and how you can, even if you're in deep pain, you can choose to think about good memories of your children or your friends, and call people and say, come over and just be with me, and just enjoy other people, and just let them in to what you're dealing with.
Absolutely.
And they it was very overwhelming. I felt like I was overwhelmed with love and support during my treatment.
So, Dad, we do have some pictures of you while you were going through your treatment, and maybe you can explain some of them. I guess Dad pulled the first one. Yeah, and your daughter, that's your daughter, right?
My daughter
wrote
this, and she asked for prayers, and that was the first surgery, or second surgery that I had. I can't remember, but
And look at
Yes.
your little fancy wig. I love. No, you look great.
I used to wear my scarf,
Oh,
so
yeah.
I didn't want it my wig to fall off.
Yeah, I know, but you look like a baby there. I know, so beautiful, absolutely
Thanks.
beautiful. And Dad, do I think we have some more?
No, this was the end of my treatment. I was so happy that day, but
I
it
bet.
had taken its toll. I was no eyelashes, no eyebrows, no hair.
Wow.
And, but you just feel so weak and but still that my friends were there and family was there and just so much support. So
Yeah,
I think we have the happier picture of the
where's
last day.
Yeah, look, and that was your friend. So tell us what this is, because that is that. I love that wig.
Oh, my friends are so much fun, and they all came over at Christmas. I love to decorate my house, and for Christmas time or any holiday, and they came over and decorated my house for Christmas, and they all wore wigs.
I love
because I
that.
had mine on, so they all had fun wigs, but especially hers. She was most fun. That's Tracy at Dillard.
I love it. I'm gonna have to steal that wig. I love that. so tell us a little
that
bit.
was the Rosary group.
Oh, the Rosary group. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And they all prayed me through my treatment.
So I know Carmen was telling me that when she got diagnosed, that's what you wanted, a rosary, like you went to.
That's right.
Yes.
For Yvonne. So
Right. We have a mutual friend, Allison, and I'll never forget the day she called and she told me that Yvonne had been diagnosed with cancer. And I remember telling her, I said, she's going to be okay, because I knew Yvonne was a person of great faith. I knew that. And I had heard that they were having a rosary for her. And I remember walking in there, was looking at Yvonne, and with the biggest smile on her face, total at peace, and she's having surgery the next morning.
gives me chills.
God just comes to you and you do feel at peace. You feel
Yes.
the peace of all of the people that are praying for you at that time.
making me.
I know. I'm sorry, but it does.
We're all gonna cry today.
Yes, and we will. I'm sure we will. But
No,
it
yeah.
is. It was a very special night. I had.
It's amazing.
It was really so.
She
special.
told me like what they had people
I was standing room only in the chapel at St. Aloysius.
That's just
and
beautiful.
you know, it was just a beautiful
Beautiful night.
rosary, and to look at Yvonne with the strength and peace that she had. When I was diagnosed, I remember my husband Lance asking, "What do you need?" I need to talk to a priest. I need to talk to Father Andrew Merle, who was at Christ the King, and I want a rosary, like you, because that was the first thing that came in my mind. I said, I need to start this part of my life with God and my faith in front path that I walk with. So here it is. I'm diagnosed in 2021, COVID, stage 4 colon cancer. By the way, everyone asked, did I have any symptoms? No, I did not have any symptoms.
no symptoms. You know, and that's something I never did ask you.
I did not have any symptoms. My mother had colon cancer. She did, but let me just stop there. It was not, they did all these tests at MD Anderson. It was not the type of cancer that genetically, kind of lean to that you can inherit. So it was not from my mother's colon cancer that I had. It was a different type of colon cancer. So when I was 43, I had a colonoscopy. Everything was clean.
Oh wow!
And 50 was the year of COVID. I went back to a colonoscopy. 51, COVID's still kind of lingering around, and I'm just having a little bit of stomach issues, nothing major. They lingered on a little bit. I chalked it up to stress, thinking it's irritable bowel. And at that moment, I thought, I need to. Went in to have a colonoscopy done, and expected the next time to see my husband, he'd being pulled out in front of the clinic because he was in the car. And when I woke up, he's looking at the doctor's telling me that I have a mass in my colon, and pretty sizable mass. That's how he explained it, and that I needed to go do a CT scan. Anyhow, 24 hours later, sitting down and we're talking about the results of the CT scan. it had metastasized to about 75% of my liver. So, no side effects to think that I was that sick.
Isn't that weird?
I didn't either.
Very weird,
You didn't
very
either.
scary.
You never felt bad.
No. And
I had appendicitis. That's how they found mine.
yeah,
And it was a miracle that I even
if it weren't for
that they went.
appendicitis,
Yes.
yeah,
So,
I wouldn't have found
So
it.
if you
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
have
had that,
right.
Right.
I probably wouldn't be here.
no, you'd be gone.
Yeah. So I knew it was going to be a long road ahead of me. Yvonne was one of the first ones that came to my house with Allison. And, we were acquaintances before then. Of course, she came in and she sat me down and all my kids and my husband.
You did.
And I told them they had to be there for her in a new special way, because it's not about them anymore. She's fighting for her life, and the only way that she can get through this is if they all support her and they all give her what she needs, in mentally, physically, whatever she needed. And what she needed most from the family is love and support. And that means visit often, pray often with her, and be at peace when you're with her. There's no arguing and fighting and none of that.
Yeah, and it was really hard to process that,
Not that
because
they did
Yvonne
that.
looked at me and
No,
said, "Okay,
absolutely not.
it's no longer about everybody else now. Mother of 3, and
Because when you're a mother, you never think of you.
No.
You know that all three
Yes.
of us are mothers.
No.
When do you ever put
Louise
yourself first?
sat me down and did the same thing.
yeah, and so
Just the mom. It's just
You
you just
have to-
focus on your family
Yeah.
constantly.
and I hung on to a lot of words that Yvonne said, and I have passed them on to so many people. She told me, "You'll never feel so loved." She was right.
It's true.
She was right. You'll never feel so loved. You'll never feel so close to Christ. And until you walk that and you walk that journey, do you really understand what that means? I felt his touch. I have felt him, and I continue to feel him. I know you do too.
I too.
And I don't know why it takes a cancer diagnosis sometimes for us to become aware that he's always been there for us. He's always there. He's always there tapping us on the shoulder, but we're so busy, right? We're busy.
No, we're guilty of that too with our family. Lindsay.
We're busy, and he doesn't leave us. He's there all the time, especially when we need him the most.
But it's so nice that everything stops when you do have cancer, and and all focus is on prayer and support and love, instead of which baseball game are we going to, or
Yeah.
which
No,
you
but like
know.
for you, she was telling me on the phone, like the swim meets and,
And
this, and you're just so focused on doing. That's why you didn't even care, like I'm fine.
Right.
How many times we always say, I'm fine. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong. I don't have time. I don't have time to go to the doctor. Have
Right.
to make the time.
You do.
That's right. And the blessings that have come out of this cancer.
Oh,
I never anticipated. And a lot of people are talking about blessings from cancer. Like, one of the things I remember Yvonne telling me is enjoy your new set of eyes.
That's true.
And
Everything
my new
is
set
so
of
clear.
eyes. And everything is so clear. It's like after she told me that, the next day I wake up and
So
I see
weird.
the leaves and I see the birds and
yes.
I take walks with my neighbors and I see a cardinal fly across, and all of those signs God's given to us throughout my entire life. But I don't think I've ever really stopped until I had my cancer diagnosis to really see that.
I love that you said that, though. Like your new set of eyes. That's so true. That is so true, though.
But you finally are free.
And
to
it's
see that.
no, but it's weird though because you see other people that haven't gone through. I don't know if you've experienced that, but other people that haven't gone through these types of diagnoses. It's almost like you just kind of feel sorry for them in a way because they just don't see what's right in front of them sometimes. How blessed all the gifts God's given them And
And we fall back into that trap, don't
Oh.
think?
oh,
I mean,
no,
in
no,
fact,
no, you totally
I totally
do.
go back. I just did that a couple
we
weeks
do.
ago.
No, we do. We fall back into it. But what I'm saying is, though, you do have that little inside, like you know, even like that. So I'm going to say how I met you. How about that?
Yes, I want to hear this story. Angel, I should have heard this.
I know. I don't know. She was the angel, and it's like it's so crazy. But so Lindsay was sick. Lindsay was diagnosed at 29 with breast cancer, and I was at dinner with my friend Anna Johnson, and you're friends with Anna, and she was saying that there was a meal train for her friend. And I was like, yep, I'm doing it because I know how much that helped. And I was like, I don't know her. I don't care. I'm going. I'm doing it. So I signed up and I brought her a meal. And when I brought her the meal, I was a wreck.
You were not a wreck.
I know the feeling. I know that
I
feeling.
walk in and bring the lasagna and I sit on her couch and I just start crying. I don't think I was like, oh, how are you doing? Oh, well, let me just tell you about my problems. You know, like she was just, you were so sick. You were so sick. And the grace that you gave me was unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. I was bringing her food because she was so sick, but I was such a mess in my own head. Like, you know what I don't even know how to explain it.
It wasn't
But she
mine
could
to
see.
give.
But you were just and it was like when I left out of there, I was like, love her. I need her.
Who doesn't?
I'm like, I love
Who doesn't
her.
love her?
Like, I remember coming home, tell my mom, like, this is like, she's the most amazing person I've ever met in my life. Like, literally, your strength was
But see, it
You were
it
so
wasn't my
strong.
strength. It's not humanly possible to go through something like this with any type of strength from within. It has to be from God.
Oh, it was from God
Our Lord.
because
It has to be
she was
because
sick.
You cannot get through something like this without Him. And just like Yvonne prayed for joy, my biggest thing is I prayed for peace. I prayed, please just don't take my peace away. And it was unbelievable, the peace that I felt in the midst of the storm. Like, I never felt this peace before I was diagnosed with cancer. And one day I'm at Mass, and, the gospel or the reading is about, I will give you peace beyond understanding. And I've heard that my entire life. And when I heard that time at Mass, I thought, oh my gosh, this is what I've been experiencing. And it's real. I mean, it's real. It's in there in the Bible. That Bible, that is real. I've experienced it, and I have that. And He does. He gives us that peace, but we have to be able to accept it. It's just like any gift, right? He's there giving, but if we don't accept it, we can't experience it. And that's why
I don't think we
What
could
could I
hear
do?
it. I don't think we hear it.
No, you're
All the
right.
noise.
No, that's
It's the noise.
the noise. It's all the noise.
It is all the noise that's in this world.
But when you're alone and or not alone, but when you are in pain and you're going through this and somebody has told you your life might end shortly, and that everything changes,
I can't imagine.
and you have this freedom to choose what you want to listen to and how you want to spend your days. And when you meet at Mass and you hear something for the first time after you've heard it 100 times before.
Yeah, it just rings differently. I mean,
It
it just
does.
does. Yeah, and I mean, as far as the pain, I mean, I remember one time going through chemo and just laying in bed, and my mother, God bless her, she helped so much at the house, and I was in a lot of pain through that chemo. I was laying in bed, and I just thought, okay, it's just you and me, God. I mean, what else? I have to surrender. And I mean, that was a big moment. That was a very liberating
That
moment.
is huge.
That was a very liberating moment to say, surrender. I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. And He has. And He will continue to. And He does for all of us. It may not be in the ways that we may want Him to, but there's a much greater plan that we cannot understand because of our human nature.
No.
We just can't.
100%. So, Dad, I wanted to bring up some pictures of Carmen, and I know one of the things that I thought was when I came to visit you that day, you were praying the rosary for Lindsay. And all these people, she's praying for other people while
She did. She prayed for me the whole time.
I mean, the whole time you're in pain,
I know.
sitting there and like, you know.
But I have to tell you one thing about pain is you just can't think of two things at once. You just, I remember telling you
That's
that.
right. That was another piece of advice.
You cannot think of two things at once. So you can't think of your pain and think of something joyous at the same time. You just can't.
I'm trusting y'all.
And so what I used to do in the midst of the pain, I had this one month I was in bed and just a lot of pain, and I just would sit there and I would go through every one of my friends and my family and think of good memories with them and play those thoughts and memories and feelings and really try to remember as much as I could about my sister and I playing in the backyard, or where the first time I met you was at the swim at the natatorium, or where, you know, watching our children have a swim meet or a tennis match or whatever it is, and really get into those memories. But also, then you can really ponder your prayers in a way that you've never done before. Because if you let up 1 second, the pain is right there again. So you have to really focus and ponder your prayers and those memories and your choice of what you're putting in that mind of yours. And that can help you get through that pain.
Wow. That's powerful. No, that's
Louise told me that.
but that's so powerful. No, it is. And it's good that you're sharing that, because I know there's people that are going to be watching this
that are in pain right now.
In so much pain. I can't imagine. That's what I took away when I walked away from you that day. I realized when I got in the car that I was being so selfish.
Oh,
you know?
You cannot think that way. See, that is not.
And I was like,
I never thought of that.
And I was like, oh my God, I've totally lost it. I don't even know you. And like, she's in so pain. And you were so, it was like,
but you were probably thinking your daughter's going through what she's going through.
Well, that's
too.
what I was thinking
That's
too.
a whole
It's like,
nother-
it's just, you know, suffering. There's not suffering. We all suffer. And I remember something Yvonne said, you know, we're all going to go through a storm in life.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
you're right.
It's only a matter of
Because you think like when you're raising kids, and I'm sure you feel, both of y'all feel like this. I feel like, you know, you have the bubble, you have it zipped, and you feel like you can control everything. At least I did. I feel like I could control pretty much a lot, right? But cancer was something that came in that I couldn't fix, couldn't control it. There was nothing I could do. There was no phone calls I could make. There's nothing. This was out of my control. And I think that was hard for me. Like I'm sure it's hard for you.
I think that's the thing.
You can't control it.
You have to surrender.
You have to. You have to surrender. No, you do. And it's like, and let me tell you, surrendering isn't easy.
No.
I mean, you say, y'all talk about it. It's not an easy thing to do, where you finally come to a point where you have to be, you know, you have to surrender.
Right.
I fought it.
You do.
You fight it. I don't know if you fought. I feel like y'all didn't, but I feel like I fought it.
We did.
Y'all
yeah.
did? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it's so hard to just say, okay. Like,
and it wasn't.
And I have to give
peaceful.
this to God.
There was moments of anger and crazy and you know, that I'm giving up and I'm doing this, and Louise would call me. No, you're good. You need to come on. We're say the rosary, and you call me any time of the hour of the night. I mean, 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Yeah. No, that is such a blessing to have somebody that will, you know, help you through like that. So I know you
understood.
Yes, and you went to Sisters a lot. Dad, you want to pull up the cross with the Milagro?
That's so beautiful.
So that's a crucifix in Sister Dulcie's chapel. And for those of you that have not heard about Sister Dulcie, she's a sister here in Baton Rouge, lives in Baton Rouge, and she prays over people that are very sick. I think now she may only be seeing cancer patients.
Oh,
and she has, she doesn't claim that she heals. She's been given the gift of healing. Papa gives her the gift of healing. And I've gone to see her, and this was the first time I walked in that chapel, and I saw that crucifix, and it was overwhelming because I don't know if you can see those little milagros, little medallions that are pinned all over. You can go into her gift shop, and there's little different organs that you can buy, the little milagros, like it might be a little brain or a liver or a colon, and you pin it on the on that cloth there. When I walked in, I remember seeing that, and it just overwhelmed me because it's the suffering.
Look at all this.
Look at all of that.
people.
Look at all the people that we need to pray for. Look at all the people that are suffering, but yet, he's lifting us all up.
And every time I go, I'm always pinning for you. You know? I know. I'm on my knees and I'm praying for you, and I'm always, and other people too. I'm always getting all my little milagros, and and then I'm like telling Debbie, "Oh, you need to order this, and because there's so many people to pray.
There's so many, and it's overwhelming when you see it.
And then
like
when
this.
you go in there, and it's like I'm sticking like 4 different things on one pin because I have so many people to pray for, and then you get on your knees and pray. I mean, it's such a special, but I don't know, every time I go in there, I don't know if it feels so good. Don't you love, it's just like when you drive in at Sisters.
Yes.
Such a peace, isn't there?
Yes.
Just such a peace.
Absolutely.
There's a peace, isn't there?
Absolutely.
I know, totally. Okay, Dad, let's go to where else. Oh, yeah, this is what I saw at your house, okay? So explain.
Yeah. So I started a couple of years ago. I was at a local shop, and I don't know why, but I do know why. I wasn't looking for Mary, and I walked by her, and I doubled back, and I'm like, I need her.
I need
she's
her
beautiful.
with me.
I need her. I don't know where I'm going to
beautiful.
put her. So I brought her home, and then you see her hands. I started putting rosaries around her, and I started putting some candles around her. And I was like, this is a nice little prayer station that I could start using to pray the rosary or anything else. And then if you see the statue in front of her, that's St. Barbara. And my mother was very devout to St. Barbara. She actually named my sister Barbara.
Okay.
She almost died giving birth
wow.
to Barbara. She was breached. And so that was a saint that she was very devout to. And she would always say, ask St. Barbara to intercede for you.
Really?
She's very miraculous. So when I was diagnosed, when we were going through my mom and dad's
Barbara's
house,
story.
I don't either.
I wish I could say I do.
She's not on the calendar, but I don't have all the details of the Barbara St. Barbara story.
The gist.
But she was martyred. She was martyred, and there was something with her father that she was martyred for. But when when my parents passed away, we were going through their house, and my mom had that St. Barbara. She would light a candle next to her every day, and I looked at my sister. I'm like, "You gotta take her. Your name Barbara, right? You gotta take St. Barbara."
Of course she does.
So she took her, and so right after I was diagnosed, she showed up and she brought her to me.
Barbara.
Yeah, she said, "I think Mom would want you to have her right now." So we have her, and ask for her intercession. I've asked for her intercession a lot, and I continue to. And then, of course, there's Christ the King in the front. I got at Sister Dulcie's gift shop. And then lots of prayer cards.
Padre, is that Padre Pio?
That's St. Charbel.
Oh, Charbel. Okay, because Lindsay loves Padre Pio.
Yeah, I have Padre Pio.
Yeah. That's who the kids say that all the
There's
time.
Padre Pio.
Yeah.
He's in there.
Well, that's St. Charbel. That's St.
They
Charbel.
look alike.
They do.
They do look alike. But, I took this picture because you were saying, okay, just take some. And there are so many. Oh my gosh. I have to thank so many people that have continued to pray.
No, but y'all did the rosary every night.
We did.
Y'all?
That was a beautiful
special.
blessing.
That's special.
We got out of cancer because I wanted the rosary, and we did. And Yvonne led my rosary at Christ the King. It was beautiful. And then after that, my kids kept asking, "What do you need?" I'm like, "Oh, I need a rosary." So I know they wanted it. We did it for a very long time. We would call on the phone and we would pray the rosary as a family. And it was
love that.
Meant so much to me. And I think that I know that that's really what carried me is family prayer. And it's always to Jesus through Mary.
Yeah.
And she's a mother, and she knows. You know,
Oh, yeah.
she could see my children suffering. She could see my husband suffering, and she could see
Absolutely.
me suffering. And so she, would bring our petitions forward. So there's the rosary, and then of course I invoke so many saints. Oh my God.
Yes.
So many. I have so many people here on earth to pray for me. These are just a couple.
I know.
Look at these. This necklace is everyone would give me a medal.
love
So many
that.
medals, and I just kept adding on.
I love it, though.
And it's like these are
love
all.
But it's been all of them have been prayed over from those sweet people that have given them to you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it
Yeah,
just
they mean
means
so much.
Yeah.
And I love that you wear, every time I see you, you have those on.
That's
Well,
sweet.
You know,
No, that's
I
that.
love
No,
that.
I do too.
they've all interceded for me, and I even began the days of my scans, looking up what the feast day was of the, and then asking
wow.
that saint. So I've had scans on feast day of Saint Faustina, Saint Maria Goretti,
All
Saint
Saints
Rita,
Day.
and then my
surgery.
last surgery was All Saints Day.
I remember that. Yes.
Yes.
Like any saint.
Yeah.
All of
Any
them.
saint.
All of them.
I remember you
All
said
of
that
them.
text. You can say any saint. Remember that? Yeah. I love that text. It's like pick a saint, any saint.
Yes.
I'm like, okay.
Yes.
I love
It's
that.
kind of like, this is kind of crazy, but kind of like a little game to me, because it's kind of like, well, let me read up on this saint. And it just helps, right?
I
To
know.
learn more and
It
more.
does.
No, it
because our faith
does.
is so
Absolutely.
deep and rich, and there's so much to learn.
Absolutely, there is.
That's
You
what
know,
your focus is.
I mean,
Yeah.
You focused on all the good stories of all those saints who are special people that to God, and He's given those to us for us to hear their stories, learn about them,
Mhm.
and we can really pray to them and pray for their intercession, and think about them instead of our pain and our
Yes.
pity and our madness.
Because all those saints went through
things.
so
Yeah.
much.
Right.
Too. You know, and,
Yes.
and we did a show on All Saints Day, and we prayed for you. And then I read what she sent me, so I was like, pick a saint. You know, I loved it. It was great. It was great for me. You know,
It's
for
great.
this, it was great. You know, and it was great. And you were getting prayers
That's right.
from people you
yes.
didn't even know. So, Dad, I know you went to MD Anderson. I think we have a picture. So, what's that in the back of you?
That's it. I think it's called the Tree of Life. It's what
Tree
you
of
see
Life.
in most. That was my I don't know what possessed me, but I was on that escalator
Uh-huh.
going in there by myself, because it was during COVID. So I had all my appointments and everything by
That's
myself.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, well, here we go. Let me take a picture on this escalator
wow.
with this Tree of Life behind me. So it's the
Oh.
first day, the appointment's there at MD Anderson. Oh, yeah. And
No hair.
there I am with no hair.
So this is after how many treatments you think?
Beautiful.
Absolutely beauty.
That
Beautiful.
was probably after 5 or 6 treatments.
Oh wow.
My hair started thinning, and I got so mad at my family. They didn't tell me I had a bald spot in the back of my head. I thought I was doing good with my hair, and then I look in the back of my head in the mirror. I'm like,
gosh.
why didn't you guys tell me? I'm like, that's it.
Oh
So
gosh.
I had my head shaved, and the hair thing. I understand it's hard, right? For people with cancer, especially
hard.
women.
It's
right?
hard.
I think men could be a little more used to seeing their heads,
it's
their faces
hard.
with a baseball cap.
But we kind of like.
It's
we
hard.
like our hair.
We cover.
I
like hair.
I hide some wrinkles
Yes.
with the hair, the neck sagging with the hair.
We
Yeah.
like our hair, and I
But that's
hung
such a
on to
thing.
it.
Yeah.
I hung
Oh,
on
I
to
did
it,
too.
and I
I
remember, we
tried.
would brush it
tried.
so softly, and then it would just
Yeah.
start
just would
coming
fall
up.
It's like your identity. That's what
Yeah.
Lindsay said. It
It's
was such
part
her,
of her.
yes, such a big part of you. Your
It
hair.
is.
So when
It
that's
is.
gone,
You feel so naked.
you feel that's
Yeah.
yes. I
And
can't imagine. I am vulnerable.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you, I had gotten so irritated and aggravated with losing so much hair that I finally got to the that's it. Because I felt like
Well, and
cancer
I
had
think
taken so
it
much from me.
hurt.
I'm like, I'm making the decision
it
now
hurts to have it
to
in your
shave
hair.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I needed it out because it hurt.
Yeah.
Your head
Isn't
hurts.
that weird? Yeah, from all the chemo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
The
sure.
chemo.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, first treatment, and I was bald.
Yeah, because you had so it's
10
all
days
different types
later.
of chemo too. A
Yeah,
lot of
there's
people don't know
different
that.
type. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. After 10 days of the 10 days after chemo was, of course, the day before Thanksgiving. We're having all these people over, and I was like, please let me just keep my hair for Thanksgiving. Let me just keep my hair. And it was like hairspray So it was like a ball on top of my head because I was trying to keep it so much, and it just wouldn't last. Well, and the funniest story, and God so brought the joy for this because I couldn't stop laughing. My daughter shows up and she has lice from the dorm. And she thinks she does. We've later find out she didn't even have lice. She had a little dandruff. That was it. But we didn't know, and it freaked us all out. So she is. So I got so nervous. I had to wash my hair. So I washed my hair, and of course, it all fell out. Everything fell out.
Oh my gosh!
But the funniest part is my daughter had to wear a little cap. Oh, she put the stuff in her hair or whatever and wore a cap the next day. So at least I didn't have to see her beautiful long locks with me wearing my new wig. First day of my wig on Thanksgiving Day with everyone. And she had a little cap on. And I thought, oh, well, I can just wear my little cap. So we kind of matched on Thanksgiving. So it was.
And then you didn't have to worry about getting the lice either.
That's right. I didn't have to worry about that at all. Which she didn't even have. I thought
isn't that crazy? I know. Well, you get worried when they go.
You think that she's going to come. I mean,
those dorms, I know. Everybody worries about that kind of stuff.
It was a wild day.
So where is this at now with this? And look, you got your rosary on.
So that was actually last May. I went through, let's see, after I was diagnosed, I had 2 major liver surgeries where they removed 75% of my liver. Liver regenerates itself. It's the only organ in our body.
That's amazing.
Praise God. My liver regenerated. They did, yes. So, yeah. It's little miracle after little miracle, right? For them to, I had to have at least 25% clean liver without cancer to be a candidate for these surgeries. And so when they did all the measurements and all that, MD Anderson, 27.
Oh, a miracle. I mean, everything.
Everything is just a miracle.
It really was. 7%. Every time I talked to her, I was just like, praise God. It is just a miracle. Every single thing.
It was.
So
and I mean, yeah.
I was so happy to be able to be with her through it. It was a special time for me to be able to.
And Yvonne was just such my spiritual rock. But so they removed 75% of my liver, regenerated itself, had 11 rounds of chemo, and then a year later went back and removed 1.5 feet of my colon, went back to the primary tumor. And I had been
1.5 feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had been so I thought cancer-free for about 8-10 months, and last March or May, found a spot that recurred in my liver. So had 4 more rounds of chemo, and after the first round, they inserted a coil around the spot with the hope that it would shrink after 3 more rounds of chemo so they could go back and ablate that area, which is basically burn that area, where the spot was. So after the 4 rounds, I went in to do a scan before the ablation, and the spot was gone. So this is my picture after they still ablated it.
Everything is just like miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle. I would get some of those texts you would send me, and I would be like, I wouldn't even like I'm going for this. And I was just like, I mean, how much more can this person take? Like, it's got to, and I'm like,
her body.
And I'm like, God, stop it. I get mad. I'm not as nice as y'all. I get mad, and I get like, enough already. Like, you have suffered enough. And it was like, no more. It's not allowed.
That's not allowed.
It's not allowed.
No more.
No more.
Yeah, but this was after the ablation. But so basically, they burned the area. There was nothing in there, but because the coil was there, they burned it to make sure that it was all gone. But my rosary, so I have my rosary, and I still do. I use multiple rosaries. I don't really have one. I have rosaries all over, but every doctor's appointment, every chemo, every scan,
y'all both have
every
them in
scan.
your hands. Yeah.
And for those watching that may have cancer, if you have scans, don't let them tell you that you can't hold your rosary, because when you do an abdomen scan, you can put your arms behind. I still hold my rosary.
I did too.
Good. So
good.
Yeah. So it's just been such an important part of my faith journey. Something about holding these beads. Mm-hmm. It just reminds me just of the love that God has for us.
And it's so powerful.
It's so powerful. The love he has for all of us. And you know what he did is sent his son. Here we are in Lent. He sent his son after we messed it up with original sin. You know,
I know.
he gives us a second chance, sends his son, and he dies on the cross for us to give us everlasting life. You know, and so and sends his son through his mother Mary. So anyhow, I don't know. They probably know me as this crazy lady, the crazy rosary lady when I go. But
No,
I always have.
no, the rosary is the most powerful weapon we have. That is the. I mean, if it, I say it every morning. I do Kitty Cleveland's rosary at 6.
Oh, I hear so many
I love
people
her.
love her.
I love her.
Mhm.
And it helps me follow along because I can drift off if I'm by myself with the rosary. I need some focus. So, but I pray for you every. And I'm going to add you now.
Thank you. I'll add your daughter. Yes, and you.
Lindsay McComey.
But it is, you mentioned that it was a family disease or it's a family experience. And I used to teach a million little kids in the summer for tennis camps and stuff. And so and they were all praying for me. They would go to mass and they'd send little pictures and they'd light candles and everything. And I would tell them, pray for my family. And I want your family to pray for my family. And so all of the little kids with their parents were praying, and the moms would be texting me, my whole family prayed for you last night. My little Joey wanted us to pray, or little Sarah wanted us to pray. And so after chemo, I got to teach. I taught that first summer after I finished. I made even a little wig that fit under a baseball cap to have little wispies, so it looked like it didn't just sit there like nothing, you know. And so I just pray that God let me show these children that their prayers were answered, you know. And
what a gift!
What a gift!
What a gift that you gave those children.
I was going to say that
and they gave
God,
to you, but what a gift
gave to me.
Yeah, but what a gift you're giving to them, because they're not going to forget that. You know, like little kids won't forget that.
And they prayed with their family. And I think
amazing.
That's
so
amazing. Important that she did that a lot, was
with her
pray
family.
with your family.
No, that is a huge thing.
Yeah, that is something that this journey kind of has taught me. And I remember you telling me this. It's so many people, you know, an illness or suffering does bring so many people closer to Christ because of a loved one's illness. They start praying for someone else, right? And I've had people that, you know, they've told me, I hadn't prayed in a while, but I'm going to start praying for you. I've had people tell me, started going back to church again. And I'm like, how unworthy am I for these people to start praying for me and to start going back to church? But, you know, we were talking earlier, it's not about me. It's not about Yvonne.
He's using you.
He's
using you.
It's about our Lord. Yes.
To get to other people. And if that's hard, and matter of fact, I didn't tell many people this, but it was my birthday, and I can, and the kids had all gone off to college, and I was all excited about my new life because, I was going to be an empty nester and my kids were going to be gone. And so I remember sitting on my porch just praying, saying, send me something great because I'm just gonna, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe a new job or a new, volunteer project or something. And 3 months later, I get diagnosed with cancer, and I look back and I'm thinking, was that really what you wanted? You sure that you wanted me to have that? But since then, it has been. It's been a beautiful experience, and it was tough, but I can see why. I can see the changes in my family. I can see the changes in myself. I can.
No, in a way, like I know that's what Lindsay said. She was. I mean, and I said it on the show. It was. She told me that. She said, "Don't look at this as like a bad thing, Mom. It's a gift. We're so much closer to God, and so many people die leaving this earth, and they never get a chance.
That's right.
To be this close to God." And I was like, boo-hooing, and it was like, are you, like, she's so wise.
Mm-hmm.
This is, she's 30 years old, and like this is what she's telling me, and I'm not getting it yet. I'm still not getting it. You know what I mean? And it was just like, no, and it's true. We are so much full, and we go to just all the things that we do now. It's completely. We just have a different outlook on life. How about that?
Yeah.
We
And
really
you have
do.
your
Really do live
new eyes.
New eyes. No,
New
you're
eyes.
right. I love the new eyes. Okay, so now we have some more pictures of your family.
Oh, I love the family.
Because, like, I know Carmen was saying, and I mean, Dad, you can keep going to some other. Life goes on.
Yeah, life goes on. So since I was diagnosed in April 2021, and since April, our family has more than doubled in size.
Isn't that
Everybody
crazy?
got married.
Everybody got married. Let's see, my oldest daughter got married right before my diagnosis. That's Valerie and Alex to the right. And then Lance, Michael, and Cece got married in the summer, right after my diagnosis. And then Caitlin and Cameron in this picture, they were almost engaged, but they got married last year. They just made their 1 year anniversary. So, that all happened since my cancer diagnosis.
Oh.
And then, I don't know if you've got the next picture or not.
Dad.
We've got grandbabies.
Oh,
they're
yay.
not here.
Oh,
They're not here
not
yet.
yet.
But yeah.
Here's a picture of my family and primarily my Miami cousins that came in. My father passed away. Life goes on.
During all
During
the
all
treatment,
this,
during all this, the suffering and all the things that
Yeah.
you're going through.
Yeah.
Life, like you said, life doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
It doesn't
for you.
stop.
You just got to keep going.
Mhm.
Daddy was 94 years old.
Oh, wow.
And he, it was all during COVID, right? And he was a tough little man. I mean, he had remember Poppy?
Poppy.
He was a hot mess.
My son loved Poppy.
He was such a mess.
My son and her son would
nurses.
go to
Oh,
his,
yeah. He broke his hip. He had a titanium plate in his shoulder.
Oh,
He
my
had COVID twice.
Poor
He
guy.
was 94
He was
years
tough.
old.
94.
He could have passed away at any point in time at any point in time, as we know,
100%,
right?
yeah.
Especially the last couple of years. But I had my last surgery in March, that 1.5 foot with my colon being removed, about a year after my diagnosis in March of 2022. And I got home that night from MD Anderson and from the facility where he was, and they said he had passed away. But, to this day, I believe he knew. He knew he was waiting for me to get home,
Get finished.
and said, okay, it's time.
It's over. And it's
I
time.
think he was praying through his own suffering.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Offering
sure.
up.
Offering
My
up.
grandmother used to say that all the time. I don't know if your grandmother did that, but it was offer it up.
Offer it up.
Offer it
And
up.
I-
My
Yeah, and I
mom
did.
says it all the time, and I'm like, I don't want to offer it.
I don't want to do that, but
Yeah.
it is true.
But it's true. You have
You
to.
have to
You
offer
have to. Absolutely. So, Dad, there's some more. Now, there's the
Oh,
baby.
there's the baby.
They're big now.
Look at them. Look
Oh,
at
they're
them.
great.
And so
we
you're
have
still
great
going
babies.
through it at this point,
One more
right?
baby coming.
We're still going through it. I have, let's see, at this point, I thought I had finished chemo and everything, but there were a couple spots in my lungs that were watching.
Yeah.
And, was still going
And
through it. And then,
And a hernia in there.
oh yeah,
In
I
the
haven't
middle.
done my hernia.
I mean-
my appendix ruptured.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I
It was-
never had been in the hospital for anything. And I had all these surgeries. My appendix ruptured.
Oh my
I had
gosh.
kidney stones. Anyhow, still going through it. And I had these spots that they were watching in my lungs. And then they said, they're too small to do anything. And then the following year they looked and they said, we can get to them. So had lung surgery Ash Wednesday, the day after Caitlin got married. So it was a couple months after Christmas here. And they removed a couple of, they removed a couple of spots in my right lung robotically. And then in November, the spots in my left lung got big enough that they were able to surgically remove those. And that was last November, All Saints Day, when I had that last surgery. So, but yeah, I mean,
Life doesn't stop
He
for
didn't,
anyone.
want,
so much
he didn't
fun.
want to pick one
Yeah,
day.
and
He
look,
just-
and
there we go. And then another wedding, right? So, I mean, it's like,
babies, weddings, life.
it just
I
goes
know.
on.
It does. And that's the thing. That's what's so nice for everybody to see this, that both of you so sick, going through so much, but you never stop. You just have to keep going. You just can't stop living. You just have to keep going.
But it is nice that everybody puts life in different perspectives.
100%. Everything is more.
You keep going, and then when those big moments come, they mean so much
They
more.
do.
They mean your wedding, your daughter's wedding, Valerie's wedding. I'll just never forget that. That was so special because you were there and even Lance Michaels. I mean, it was just even more special that that she got to be there for it. And
Well, yeah,
you
you
just
like you're
get-
so
you're not
appreciative of her being around.
right.
Like, you know, and it's not, it's like, not everybody gets to do this. You know, it's like so special that you're still here. It's amazing that y'all are both still here. Thank God they found, oh, look, and here's,
Oh, this is, tell her this.
Yeah.
story.
So, my neighbor, Beth, wanted to get some of the ladies together close in the neighborhood and that have been praying for me one evening at her house. So she
nice.
opened up her home, and this is that was a very special night because I wasn't planning on saying anything. I'm really an introvert. I'm an extrovert because of work. Work makes me be an extrovert, but I'm not an introvert. And so at the end, you know, we took this picture, and then I was like, okay, I need to say thank you. These ladies, you know, I mean, so I turned around and to see them all.
I mean, like, I would just be so humbled to see so many people. Like, look at that. So, I mean, y'all, you have such a, like, and you say, like,
It
your
was a
church was
story.
so, everybody's just,
And that was the day that we talked about the book. The first,
Yeah.
the,
that's when
the
y'all
first
discussed-
day we decided we need to tell
Yeah.
our story.
well, and you know,
But there were so many more other than a picture. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, this
There's
is just
so
like
many.
a quick. There were so many people that have prayed
oh, yeah,
for
Exactly.
me and
And the
for
family.
you know, and it's just like, but it's just to see a visual picture of just a group of people was overwhelming to me.
yeah, that many people, like, to see it, like, you
To
know, those
see
people
it.
are praying, like, you hear it, but to physically see
Yeah.
it, I can't imagine. So I do want to mention that you just got back from Medjugorje, right?
Yes,
And that's you could tell them about your statue in the back, so we can let
Yes.
everybody know.
yes, that's Our Lady of Medjugorje.
Yes. So
and,
tell us about your, and tell them kind of like a little, aren't you, like, why you kind of took the trip? It's
Yeah,
means so much more
Right,
now.
So
and
it's
I
here
got to
we
be involved
go
again.
You did?
Yes.
Oh my
So
gosh.
as my health was improving, you know, I started thinking, you know, I need to make a trip. I really wanted to go to the Holy Land with my husband, and then of course, sadly, they've got the war going on. Like, well, you know, we're just going to have to kind of wait. And then I get a call from Yvonne.
Of course.
Okay. And Yvonne's like, hey, there's this group. She gets a call for one of her friends that Father David Dawson and Father Miles Walsh
Oh, wow.
was going to bring to the Holy Land. And that's not going to happen, but they've diverted this tour to Medjugorje. Do you want to go? And I'm like, looking on the calendar, and it's like the week after my scans. So I am on a 3-month interval with scans. So I am, I really can't plan beyond 3 months. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
That's the cross I carry. And so I looked, and it was January 15th through the 23rd. My scans were January 9th. And that was after my last surgery. So I was like, well, I'm going to pray about this. And I thought, either my scans are going to be clear, which I wholeheartedly believe they are, and I get to go, or they're not. And what a better way to start my next chapter? A trip to Medjugorje to see Our Lady, because that's where I started this whole journey, right? So anyhow, Yvonne
Unfortunately, I
couldn't make
go.
it. Couldn't make it.
But
You couldn't make it.
I couldn't go. Family, activities and stuff,
Yeah,
and but I'll go one day. But
Yes.
but she got to go with your sister-in-law.
My mother,
Are you-
Lance Michael's mother-in-law.
That's what it was.
Yeah. She had a grandbaby.
Yeah.
So Christine, so she was thinking about going. So we got to go. My scans were clear. Praise Jesus.
Of course.
And then I got to
He
go.
cleared the path.
And I felt that as I was, this picture here is the bottom of, this is kind of the path up to Apparition Hill, where Our Lady has been appearing. And before I left, I thought, I need to ask people for intentions to bring, because I thought, it's my turn now. I always prayed for everyone praying for me, but I wasn't going for me, right? I felt like I was going to give thanks to Our Lady for and all the intentions. And this picture here, I printed out all the intentions, and we prayed just like everyone else did on the trip.
And she texted me, and I felt so. I was like, oh, can you please? And My family. I was like, I didn't even want to ask. You know,
I had a long list.
because I knew she
Everybody.
was
I mean,
getting
we all
hammered
need
with
prayers.
the prayers. You know,
I hammered her.
We all need prayers.
Pray
We
for
all
my
need
family.
prayers.
Oh,
and
yeah,
my-
you want those prayers.
Yes,
That's
our
like
continue healing.
absolutely.
So I was very blessed to be able to go and in gratitude, thanking Mary for her intercession.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's just
And
you love
and your grace. I think that's the other thing is I watched you go through this, but your grace through it all was incredible.
incredible.
But I do have a story about Medjugorje.
Please.
So, you know, we were a couple of days into the trip, and during one of the homilies of the priest, they were mentioning that, you know, they call her the Queen of Peace there.
Oh,
And at that point, it kind of riveted me because that is what I prayed for throughout my entire cancer journey is peace. So I
Yeah.
felt like
Here I am.
here I am.
Yeah, the Queen of
Here I am. I was meant to go. You know, I was meant to go and give thanks. And
And can you tell everybody too, because like it really touched me, what you told me, how people over there live their lives
Oh, yeah.
versus
Yes.
how
It makes a
we
difference. Yeah.
live our lives.
yes, you know, Medjugorje is a little village of about 4,000, 5,000 people. And
How beautiful.
I think
I
that
know.
the biggest takeaway from this trip, I mean, there were so many just
A million probably. Huh?
blessings that came out of it. But one of the things I did not expect to come back with is kind of an appreciation for how differently they live than how we live. Sadly, I feel like we live in a very secular kind of society and world, or probably. They, you know, they live their faith. And our tour guide was great. He's like, look, we're not like perfect people. We're not holy people. But the center of their daily lives is God. They go to church. And he, you know, funnily, he was really funny. He said, you know, you get talked about if you don't go to church every day. You just go, you do that. That's what you do. That is your priority. And there's like 25 confessionals outside. You go to confession every day. I mean, and that's just how they live. And you sense this
So nice.
peace about them. And I don't know, we just live in such a rat race here.
We
right?
do.
I mean, it's
Yes.
just, you know, we of course, it's just so important. You know, we want our kids to go to school and get good grades and, you know, be a good athlete and get a good job and, you know, do all these things, which that's how we have defined success in our society here. And when you go to a place like that, you're like, you know what? That's not really our identity. All of that, as we know, just will wither away one day, right? We're children of God. And that, I feel like in that, they kind of got that.
Yeah, they
you know,
figured it
they
out.
figured it out.
God comes first.
God confirmed, you know, we went,
Tell the story of the taxi
driver, the taxi
please.
driver.
I love
Yes.
this. It's
Oh,
my
yeah.
favorite.
Yeah. So
I know.
we climbed Apparition Hill one day, and then the second day there was that cross mountain, and I didn't dare go hike that cross mountain because I thought, goodness, if I come back with a broken
You
ankle
didn't
after all this,
have
Lance is going to kill me. So anyhow, I wanted to go back to the foot of Apparition Hill, and I went with another person that was on the trip to get a cab to go to the foot of the hill. So we caught a cab and we get up there, and this guy Franz that I was with asked the taxi driver, "Can we get your number so we can call you back to pick us up after we pray the rosary,
Yeah.
or after we go up there and say our prayers in about 45 minutes?" The taxi driver looks at us and he goes, "No need. I'll just stay here and pray. I'll pray the rosary. You come back whenever you're ready."
That would never happen here.
It gets better.
Yeah. So then we get back, we stop at a little store, taxi cab driver's still there, we buy some things, you know, by this time it's like 20 minutes later, we get back in the taxi cab, we go back, this guy's been with us for 50 minutes, right? We get back to the hotel, he's like, $8. We're like, what? Like almost an hour, $8. And Franz continues to give them, you know, proceeds to give him, I don't know, $20 bill, here, take this, and he refuses. He refuses. He really, and I saw it in his eyes, he really did pray. I told her he prayed the whole time. And he was very content with his earning his pay right? There's just this sense of just inner peace that I just tell everyone, if you can, you should go, because it's such a personal experience for everyone that goes there to Medjugorje, and everyone takes away a little something. But at the end of the day, it is a experience that just makes you really look through a different set of eyes at how we can live, how we really probably should live, and how we should at least strive to live. As a community, it makes it so much easier when everyone's doing the same thing, right? It's when
Well, you
that's the
support
thing.
each other as a community of faith and not just a community.
Yes.
No, you're right. You're right. And I think it gets lost in the, like you said, the whole rat race of everything that goes on. That we're
Even
not
church. Even going to mass, I see so many people with they're just rushing out or rushing in, and
everybody's in a rush.
I know
We're always in a rush.
Where everybody's in a rush. all the
everybody.
time.
Me too.
I mean, we're all guilty.
Yeah, I'm guilty.
Again, me too. No, we all are. I mean, everybody. And it's like we really need to slow down.
I love that story because
I do too. That's an amazing story.
What do you say, Mother Mary will take care of us?
Oh, there was that lady in the gift shop.
Oh, that I thought that was a taxi
How is
driver.
it working out? Evidently, they have three presidents for the country.
Oh, Bosnia.
And it was
How
a
they
young
felt.
girl that was working behind the shop. And he actually was, so I understand you have three presidents here at this country. And he kind of nodded. She goes, how's that working out for you? And she goes, Mother Mary takes. And it's like, it's a 20-something-year-old. And just
like, wow.
it's just ingrained
First of all,
in them. That's how
nobody
they're-
would say that here
No.
because of the political,
Everybody's so
everybody's got, you would never even broach that subject of religion
Like, give
to
it to
somebody
God,
that
yeah.
you don't know. But they just, that's part of their everyday in their life. And that's what,
So we can live that way. We can
We have
as a
to.
community. It's just, it's, I think I shared this with one of our priests, and he made a comment. He says, yes, we have to live in this world, but we don't have to live of the world, which is really makes you think.
And it's like, you talk, you see all that, but it's so hard to slip back into that craziness of what the,
we call it reentry. Yeah.
the reentry.
When I come back from a retreat or a weekend that is just holy and with people that pray all the time and everything, and we have to re-enter into just
the
crazy rat race and the busyness. But thank God that we do get our moments of retreats or
Right.
trips that like this and just
Absolutely.
adoration or just going to mass. And just I went to Divine Mercy the other night at St. George. It was absolutely beautiful. And I thought to myself, this is what I need to start doing more and more and more and get rid of the
all the other
busy.
stuff. So Dad, you've been quiet over there. Is there any questions you have or comments you may have?
I don't have any questions, but I have a great deal of respect and love for both of you ladies. Thank you for sharing your story with us.
Good.
You're
Right.
so welcome.
Yeah. So thank y'all both for coming. And I'm gonna put a little pressure on y'all. Y'all gonna finish y'all's book.
And then we get to come back.
I know I have to come back. And like I can't wait because like there's so we just tipped on the iceberg of everything that y'all have to. I know. I mean, just y'all have so much to share and so much to say. Y'all have to write.
We do.
Y'all have to. Like it's
Even if it's just for us and nobody reads it. it would still be
But this is a God
fabulous.
thing, and God's using both of you women, and y'all need to tell this story because it's so important. It's going to be all over the place. I just know it because y'all have touched my heart. I didn't know you before tonight, and love you already. Always love you from the minute I left your house. I mean, like just and always
showed up at the doorstep
and just admired her as a human being, like just an amazing human being. But y'all are both just two just amazing human beings, and I'm blessed to know both of y'all. So thank you for coming on our show.
Absolutely.
And I guess Dad, you want to say what we're having next week?
Yeah, what we got next We have
Dr. Larson.
Dr. Larson is coming on in for
Yeah.
a show, and
That's my dentist.
we can discuss all our dental fears with Dr. Larson.
I am anxiety girl for the dentist, so I have every excuse not to come to the dentist. So,
Exactly. So
That's so funny.
we'll be here same time, same station, 7:00, and we look forward to having you with us. Thank you again, Yvonne and Carmen. Appreciate it so much.
Thank y'all.